Absolutely. Good evening, everyone. We are live. We are live. I am Sonja, and this is Prim and Proper Sports on January the 14th, 2026, y'all. I hope everyone is having the most amazing day and week. And tonight I got a special guest. Now, let me just let you guys know. So I don't have class on Wednesdays or Fridays this semester. So I'll be live back to my no pre-recordings unless, some of my guests are not available. But for the most part, we're live. And I will be sharing the stream as soon as I introduce my special guest. Now, some of you all will recognize him. He's on several platforms that I'm a guest on, including the Sunday Morning Big Sports Show. He has several shows, y'all. He retired last year, so you see him everywhere all over the web. He's the creator and host of TGI Sports Talk. None other than my friend, and looks like probably not only the college champion, but perhaps the Super Bowl champion fan, none other than Mr. Keith Engle. Keith, good evening. How are you?
Sonja, how are you?
Absolutely doing well. You guys can support him, especially since he's retired, by sending some stars while we're here, helping pay for his next trip, which he has coming up. Keith, it's been a long time since you and I have sat down and had a talk. I really appreciate your time on this evening. How you been?
I've been great. I don't think we've done. I apologize for my voice as well. I don't think we've done a show together like this since you started school, probably.
Oh my goodness, and that's been over a year, well over a year, close to 2 years. That's wow, 2024, and we're in 2026, so at least 18 months.
I would say.
And I believe you are correct, Keith. So for those who don't know Keith, he's battling a little bit of cold tonight, but he's joined me with some tea and honey. And so he's promised me he can get through the show. And let me tell you guys, if you want to know anything, Keith is the pro right here on college news, on NFL news, you name it. He's just very well versed. And it's such an honor to have him tonight. So Keith, tell us a little bit. I'll let you do a plug about your show first while I'm sharing this stream, and then we'll get to business here. So tell us a little bit about TGI Sports Talk and how people can find you and what you got going on over there.
Well, TGI Sports Talk, we're proud to be part of the McGrath Podcast Network, as you are, and it has morphed from National Streaming Sports. Started out with Mac 6 years ago now, I guess. Time really flies, and we miss Mac a lot.
Yes, we do.
But we started there, and I do several shows. As you said, we just finished a college show up. Excuse me, the college football huddle up here at 7 to 8:30. Went a little short, trying to save my voice a little bit for this show. We do 2 shows with Jack Hirsch, Monday mornings and Friday mornings at 8 a.m. Eastern. Jack and Keith's Weekend Playbook. Jack is the reason I have no voice after last Friday's show, I believe. I'm blaming him. We also do a Major League Baseball update on Fridays. We do the Sunday Stream of Consciousness. And we on the panel with several shows, the Unprofessional Professional Sports Show, which was on earlier tonight, and the Big Football Show that you mentioned earlier as well. We have a blast with you and the guys all the time. So it's a lot of fun, and it's a passion for me, and I'm glad I haven't been on in so long. I've got an itch, even though I'm still struggling. I had an itch. I got to get on.
So. I know. And like I said, it's so weird because I didn't even realize until we started the live stream. And I'm like, hold on. I have not had Keith on here in a minute. I mean, I know we talked about it a couple of times last year, but I couldn't make it happen. Either I was traveling or you were traveling or I had exams or what have you, and just other life obligations. So just so good that we could make it happen.
I don't know how I found time to work because I don't have time for anything right now. So.
I know. I'm sitting here like the shows. It's like, are you ever not live? It literally sounds like you're on live every single day. Do you have any days that you're not on?
Yeah. I'm free Tuesdays. I'm free Thursdays and Saturday.
Okay,
no shows those days.
And free this time of night too. So you plug me in. Before we go further, Keith, I do want to give a shout out to Brian Bistrilla. Amazing. We've been tweaking this intro outro for a while because We had over 28,000 views in the last 3 weeks on these live streams. We really appreciate everyone with the likes, loves, and shares. But of course, we're getting flagged by copyright stuff left and right, even though it's supposed to be public domain. So Brian's been literally tweaking this intro. I said I may have to come on here and just sing a cappella one day, and just that won't be flagged at all. And so, even my niece, her song got flagged, and I'm like, oh my goodness. So I want to thank him. I want to shout out to Pink Fan Fur, who does all our promos behind the scenes. And of course, our great producer in the Sky, Mac, who brought us all together. And shout out to Brian for continuing that dream. And now it's named went from National Streaming Sports to Northeast Streaming Sports, and now McGrath Podcast. And it's just amazing maturation. And Keith, you've been there pretty much since day one. To see that going and to see the viewership and the support going is just a blessing.
It's been great. And Brian said a great job. You did a great job with the transition when Mac first had to step away and then unfortunately passed away. You did a great job, and Brian's picked up the mantle and done a great job as well. And I apologize to Pink because I saw an email tonight that she sent me today that she wanted some stuff from me this morning. I apologize.
I was wondering what happened with the reels. It's okay. And of course, Miss Linda, thank you so much for allowing us to continue to honor Mac. Yes. Who will always be part of the family as well. So we just want to thank you. So Keith, I'm going to do a little bit of opposite tonight. I'm going to, I know everyone's waiting for the NFL news. We're going to actually save that for dessert. And we're going to start with this coaching carouseling news in the NFL. Correction. We're going to start with CFP tonight, the college football news and playoff. And then we're going to go into the coaching changes, player changes, what have you. And then we'll go into the games that are upcoming and those that happened overall. These Oregon Ducks, the big news out of Oregon today, Dante Moore has officially announced he will return to Oregon for the 2026 season. He's going to decline to enter into the draft, opting to take another run at a title with the Ducks next year. Keith, is this just, kind of like I just have to go out with a bang, or what do you think? Is this a great thing? Because it's not going to be that big of a draft class this year.
No, he guaranteed to be top 2 or 3 at least, and that's a lot of guaranteed money you're foregoing to go back and try to win a national championship. But he's also going to get some more seasoning. He's only a junior, so he hasn't played a lot of games. He's only played, I don't know, not even 30 games. I don't think he's played. Some of these guys are playing 60, 70 games when they come out here in the recent past. So I was shocked to hear the news, quite frankly. But I think for his own maturation, I think it's best for him. And I think this also has a lot to do with he doesn't want to, and his people don't want him to be a New York Jet. I think that's a lot.
Let's go figure. When you go to the top draft, it's between them and the Giants. I think the Giants may have them by 1 game. Go figure. It's always the New York teams. Keith, they are both clawing it out. Both New York teams, Buffalo, looking, they're AFC, but for these, Jets are AFC. I don't know. I guess, you think of Buffalo, they don't always say they're a New York team. They just say we're Buffalo, and they're kind of like, we're done with that part.
They're New York's only team, really, when you think about it. So
yes,
don't play here.
Yes, they're New Jersey. I be telling people that no one wants to. Yes, it's absolutely right. So, that's a good thing. And talking about the national championship, the number 1 Indiana Hoosiers, who's actually kept that rank 15-0 against your personal number 10 Miami Hurricanes. This game is going to go down on January 19th on Monday. It's in Hard Rock Stadium.
It is.
That's so weird that they got the home game and their record is not, they're ranked 10.
Well, it's just a dumb luck, right? The games are scheduled out
as
far as where they're going to be played. It's not a huge home field advantage because Indiana travels really well. You saw their fan contingent at the Rose Bowl and at the Peach Bowl. Both were fabulous. And I never feel like Miami has a huge home field advantage anyway. They play 20 miles off campus. They get to stay home, no travel. So that's obviously a good thing. So you have a home field in that regard. But this is an interesting matchup. Miami has been pretty much irrelevant since the early 2000s, over 25 years. or close to 25 years, I should say. And if it wasn't for Indiana being the biggest story maybe ever in the history of college football, quite frankly,
Literally.
Miami would be a huge story getting back to the championship game this year. But Indiana is really, really good. They're well coached. They play well in all facets of the game, offense, defense, special teams. They don't turn the ball over. They don't make big mistakes and penalties. Miami, I said this earlier on the on professional show. They have a path to victory, but you're not driving a tractor trailer down that path. You're driving like a Harley down that path because they can't make any mistakes.
Right.
No mistakes. They can't have 7 penalties like they had against Ole Miss. Carson Beck has got to take care of the football and make some good play. But this team's got to get to the quarterback and they got to run the football.
It's so amazing seeing Carson Beck there. We're so used to seeing him with the Dogs. I mean, Keith, do you think he's the difference maker? Because when he first got there, a lot of fans just were not so sure. Well,
because of his injury to his arm, we weren't sure what we were getting for $4 million.
Right.
You know, that's a big payday for a kid in college.
Yes.
With a bad arm. But he played well. He played early. He played well. He kind of faded in the middle of the season, made a lot of mistakes, made some big interceptions against Louisville and SMU where they lost 2 games they should not have lost. And he's been up and down, but he's come up big. They didn't ask him to do a lot against Ohio State. He made a couple good throws, didn't lose the game for him. They ran the ball. The defense played well. That's probably going to be the same formula against Indiana. Mm-hmm. They've got to stay clean. They got to run the football. They got to play good defense. He didn't play, and the team didn't play that clean against Ole Miss, and they got away with it.
Right.
But they dominated everywhere but the scoreboard. They dominated that game. Time of possession was like 3-1. If you didn't see the score and you saw the rest of the numbers, you would have thought Miami beat them by 3 touchdowns.
Right. It was so deceptive. The score was not reflective of what the game actually was.
But the only one that really matters is the scoreboard, right? So Carson Beck, he really came up big at the end of that game. He had a couple big throws. He had the big run for the touchdown. So he's probably earned the $4 million that he was given to come here. He's got him back into a championship game. They didn't even expect to make the playoff. They've had a great run through. I mean, they beat 3 teams already that were ranked in the top 4 teams. You count Notre Dame at the time, ranked in the top 5. Texas A&M, Ohio State, Ole Miss, all of them ranked in the top 5 at one time or another this year. It's been a great run through this playoff. One more game, they can get this done. They just got to bring the talent to the field the way they did against Ohio State, even more so than what they did against Ole Miss, I think.
I mean, this is one of those seasons, like you said, neither of these teams, I literally had kind of looked away. You know, we're so used to seeing Oregon, Ohio State, Alabama, Georgia, you know, the usual suspects, and go figure. And I, looked away and I looked back like, wait a minute, where are the big 5? I think that's 5 of them. Where are the big 5? I see none of them. And they were all just disseminated. This is a Cinderella story, though, for Indiana is looking to cap a perfect miracle season with this title. But Miami is the first team in modern day era, Keith, to play for the national championship in their own home stadium. It's kind of like the NFL schedule. You know, if the 49ers happen to advance all the way to Santa Clara, they'll be at home, just like Tampa Bay was. You know, it happens occasionally. But the road team, just, the Indiana Hoosiers, despite playing in their own building, Miami is designated as the visiting team. Right. Wearing white, while Indiana will be known as the home team because Indiana defeated Oregon in the semifinals, and Miami, of course, defeated Ole Miss. And so those were big games, like you said, kind of like a center block mentality, just domino effect, and mow their way to get there. Critical thing about those mistakes, they have a way of being camouflaged at the onset, but being very recognizable in the spotlight when they come to surface again. So can't make those mistakes. And I hope that they've been watching film and knowing that, and being knowledgeable where they went wrong, because those things get exposed. It's going to be game over real quick.
It will. I mean, the way Indiana's playing, there's every chance. If Miami makes the big mistakes, they play the way they played against Louisville or SMU, they're going to get blown out of the building.
Yeah.
They didn't play well. I don't see that happening. I don't think they can play from behind and catch Indiana. I think they need to get out in front in this game and set the pace and the tone of this game. But Indiana is just such a great story. Any other year, I'd be all in on Indiana because it's
I know. You'd be like, they're perfect, but they would be your team, though, Keith.
Teams never won anything, So Miami again. They had a great 20-year run. You're too young to remember, of course, but from 84 to 2002, 2004, they were the dominant team in college football.
Yeah, they were.
Most of that time.
I appreciate you saying I'm young, but I remember being a child and going into my adulthood. Because 2004, you said, was the last year.
First year they won a national championship.
Yeah, so in 2004, I had.
My bad. 1984, they won their first. The last one was 2002.
2002. So yeah, I had moved to Atlanta. I was fully an adult by that time, Keith. So my whole childhood, like the 80s, the 90s, that's when I grew up, and so to watch the maturation.
This game, interesting enough to me, kind of parallels a little bit. Well, although Indiana isn't like a powerhouse like Nebraska over decades, right? They've just come into their own. But in 84, they played Nebraska, who was number one, and nobody thought they had any chance. They were 2 touchdown underdogs in that game. They were number 4 in the country. Nebraska was number 1. Howard Schnellenberger coached that team, and they took it to Nebraska that night. And Nebraska, all they had to do was tie, and they would have won the national championship. And
wow.
Tom Osborne, I give him credit. They scored a touchdown at the end of the game for Nebraska. He went for 2 and didn't get it. He could have taken a tie and won a championship, but good for him. You want to win on the field. And at that time, they were voting for national champions. You didn't play on the field. So I take it back to that team, and I'm going to hope that team can channel that team. This team can channel that team and get a little bit of that underdog strength, if you will, and carry some momentum. They're playing well. I mentioned Howard Schnellenberger, and I want to give him some props because when people think of Miami in that 20-year period where they were dominant, they think of Jimmy Johnson, they think of Dennis Erickson.
Mm-hmm.
Howard Schnellenberger got this whole thing started, and then he left for the USFL of all places.
Wow.
And then Jimmy Johnson came in here, and everybody knows what happened then. But people forget Howard Schnellenberger. There would be no Miami dynasty without Howard Schnellenberger.
I literally just remember the name when you said it. So I was like, what? Yeah, and you're right. It's so how easy, they forget. And now, the match has been lit. And so I know Michael Irvin is just going absolutely crazy. All I'm seeing is him on social media showing off his California raisin body with ripping off belts and stuff like that. And
watch him during the games. He's exhausting to watch. He exerts more energy than the guys on the field.
Oh my goodness. I can't say some of the comments I've read about him while we're on here, but
what's firing that energy? I know I've read a lot.
Yes, you already know what they are. They references to white boulders. All right. So
it's all natural. That's all I can say.
Yes, all natural. So, of course, it's going to be an exciting game. And that's a big headliner. Keith, I know you will be happy, extremely happy if Miami pulls this one off. But for those Indiana fans, this is a true Cinderella story, and just expect it to be a lot of emotion on both sides of the ball for both of those teams. One playing at home, even though they're the designated visitors, and one who's traveled well and who has a flawless record. I mean, that is absolutely stellar to say. It's going to be an exciting game. And I'm definitely looking forward to that game, January 19th.
It's refreshing, as you said, right? I mean, we know who the SEC wants to be the big dogs. They haven't had a team in the national championship game in 3 years.
Exactly. So, I wonder, Keith, this is something that kind of comes up. The restructuring of the SEC and all this that we saw a couple of seasons back. I think that this may have a play into that because you're moving other people around. You're having a little bit more competition early on. It's so easy to already be eliminated almost from week 2. It's so competitive right now.
That's true. There's a lot of cannibalizing, within the league. People talk about the SEC being down and the Big Ten taking over, and some of that's true. Indiana has obviously added another layer of greatness to the Big Ten, right? You still got Ohio State, you still got Penn State had a bad year, but they're still one of the better programs in the country. Mm-hmm. But the SEC, they beat themselves up. It's deeper than the Big Ten. I think the Big Ten at the top is much better than the SEC as we speak.
Right.
But deep, the SEC is still much deeper because, look at Vanderbilt, look at Missouri, look at some of these teams that didn't even come close to sniffing a playoff bid, but they're still some of the best teams in the country.
And we have to look, we got a sneak preview when TSU made it all the way to the championship game a few seasons back. No one saw them coming. Of course, they got absolutely obliterated in the final, but hey, they got there. And it was just showdown.
TCU and Cincinnati, the year before that, but they got beat in the semifinal. They got beat up bad, but it's good to see. Look, there's all talk about expansion and all this other stuff. I don't want to see expansion and then guarantee the SEC and the Big Ten 4 or 5 bids.
Right.
If they earn them, fine. But if you do that, then you're setting yourself up for some bad teams getting into playoff. Or I shouldn't say bad teams, mediocre teams.
Less than.
The 4th best team in the SEC could be a really, really good team. Mm-hmm. It may not every year be that way, though. So I don't want to see them guarantee whatever they do with adding teams to this playoff. I don't want to see, 4 guaranteed bids go to any conference.
You think some of these ramifications with these Big Fives, we're going to be looking at any coaching changes, or is it too early to tell?
I think you've seen the changes that you're going to see probably. Michigan, obviously, was the last one. And they made a great hire, I think, in Kyle Whittingham. Probably, I think the best hire of the whole cycle was the last one, Kyle Whittingham at Michigan. But I don't think you'll see any changes here. These everybody that made the playoff, their coaching situations are set the way that they are at the head coaching situations. We got some coordinator positions to fill because those guys left for some of the other jobs that were open. It's not going to be like the NFL where you see teams in the playoffs and suddenly their coach is gone, which I'm sure we'll talk about in a second. But these 2 coaches for sure are going nowhere, and the rest of the teams from the playoff, none of those coaches are. You think
LSU is going to be super competitive next season with Lane Kiffin making the adjustment?
It's going to be interesting. Lane Kiffin's a really good football coach. Mm-hmm. He's a king of the portal. He's already brought in Sam Leavitt from Arizona State to be his quarterback. I'm sure he was trying to get his old quarterback from Ole Miss to transfer if he does get another year.
That's what I was looking at.
But that won't happen. If he does get another year of eligibility, he's going to stay at Ole Miss.
Right.
I think, listen, LSU, it's all about fit, right? Brian Kelly was a horrible fit in the SEC, in the South, anywhere. He was a Midwest guy, right? He didn't belong in the Southeast and was like a fish out of water from day one. Kiffin's been in the Southeast Conference for a long time and in Florida with Florida Atlantic, so he knows the territory. He's going to recruit. He's going to get transfers, and he can coach. Mm-hmm. People are going to hate it, but he's going to win at LSU. Mm-hmm. Whether he wins the national championship remains to be seen, but he's going to win.
Yeah, everybody, we see you watching. Say hi. We're actually live. I know it's a shock. I've been pre-recorded for so long. Last week we were live. I was blessed to have Jamal Coker on, dad of Jalen Coker, right before Jalen balled out. I knew he was balling out, but you can imagine that video has just my live stream has just had several replays now. Like we're over the 1,000 mark because people realized, like, wait a minute, she just had him on, and it's almost like there was a pause. Like, wait a minute. Now everybody's watching and stuff like that. So thanks, guys. And thanks again, Jamal. I know you are now a new subscriber. So thanks for the support. And I hope Jalen gets a lot of rest and gets ready for his training here coming up soon. All right, Keith. So let's switch gears. Speaking of Jamal Coker and Jalen Coker, I don't know where to begin. Let's talk about some of these coaching carousels that have already started. Of course, major personnel changes that have been confirmed since last Friday. And since that was my last show, that's what we're going to start and bring it all the way up to today. The big news, of course, after 18 seasons, John Harbaugh was released from the Baltimore Ravens. They said they agreed. You know, that's the amicable way to talk about it. John Harbaugh.
He got fired.
He got fired. He got fired, but he's still getting his check, but he got fired. All these coaches, of course, Raheem Morris, who everyone knew since week 3 when the Panthers routed the Falcons 38-0. Falcon fans, everyone everywhere across the world had almost like a petition to get him out of there. And once, even though they swept the Saints, it was just time. And so after 2 seasons, they didn't even give him a third time of charms. He was fired on January 12th. Pete Carroll, after just 1 season, sent Pete and his gum back to the couch. One and done. Jonathan Gannon, Arizona Cardinals, was also fired on the 12th. Kevin Stefanski and from the Browns on the 12th. Mike McDaniel, Mr. Flip-Flops himself, was fired that same time after missing the playoffs. And just yesterday, Keith, Mike Tomlin, and the Steelers have only had, I think, 4 coaches since the 60s?
Three since 1969.
That's crazy. 3 coaches since before I was here, my whole lifetime. So in at least 50 years, they've only had 3 coaches. That lets you know they hang on to their coaches. He was the longest tenured coach in in history, I believe, 19 years.
Well, not in history, but
the modern era. Yeah. 19 seasons. Following the playoff loss to Houston, he basically said that he was stepping away. And then today, Adam Thielen also joined the conversation. Of course, Thielen had gone from the Panthers back to the Vikings, wanted to retire Viking, wanted more snaps. They weren't getting him the snaps. He then wanted to go to a playoff contending team. His words, he went to Pittsburgh. Now they're eliminated. Now he's announced today he is retiring after a trio of teams. And it's likely he will still retire as a Viking since that's the predominant time he spent. Keith, what were your thoughts on some of these head coaching moves?
None really surprised me a lot. Mike Tomlin, I wouldn't have been a surprise if he stepped away any of the last 3 seasons, quite frankly. But what really strikes me, and it didn't even hit me, I guess, so you were just kind of going down the list. I don't remember a year ever that a coach with 18 years and a coach with 19 years left their jobs or were removed from their jobs in the same year. And that's remarkable to keep a job that long. And then you got 2 guys that leave at the same time. And as far as Harbaugh goes, if you don't think he got fired, listen to Steve Biscotti's interview this week where he was asked if Ravens had beaten the Steelers in that last game, would John still be here? And he said, for 1 more week.
Well, I mean, Keith, with that specific conversation, there was some tension between Lamar and Harbaugh a while back. He wasn't showing up for practice, things of that nature. And then it came out today that they've gone to Lamar and they're like, hey, we want your contract reworked for a cut of $74 million. We want that reworked. So I don't know, Keith. We may be looking at Lamar being out of there next.
We might. And it's funny because I would have thought what happened here was they chose the quarterback over the coach because of all the things that we'd heard the last few weeks about meetings, practices, and missing games what other quarterbacks would have played. Again, I don't know when guys are hurt or not because there's a difference between being hurt and injured, right?
Right.
I can't imagine a lot of great quarterbacks sitting out with back spasms with your season on the line. I just can't imagine that. And that's when the articles all came out. And a lot of stuff came out about teammates and coaches not being happy with some of Lamar's stuff. He's a very talented kid, obviously. And, you know, they aren't sure if he can lead them to a championship, maybe. I know John Harbaugh didn't think so. They were ready to move on a couple of years ago. They were talking about this whole this was the whole organization. moving on from Lamar before he signed his big contract the last time, and putting in a system with quarterbacks of kind of matriculating them through the system. So you draft them as a rookie, you pay them the rookie scale, and when they're ready to get paid big, you get rid of them and move on to the next guy. That's an interesting theory. It would work, but they didn't do it, which tells me they probably didn't think it would work either. But it's not easy to replace a guy that talented. Just go find Lamar Jacksons everywhere. I mean, I've been hard on him because he doesn't win big games and sometimes doesn't play in big games. I think 3 times in the last 5 years he's not finished the season. But again, with that said, it's not easy to just say goodbye and come up with another quarterback. You're not drafting in the top 10.
Facts, right?
They're never bad enough to draft. They've had a couple of bad years, but they're never bad enough to really draft that high. So, it's very difficult to move on from an iconic coach and a franchise quarterback in the same season, unless you're going to tear it all down, start all over.
And then what would happen with Derrick Henry? I mean, he's there. They got Likely. They got Flowers. I mean, they have the talent there.
They do. On the offensive side of the ball, there's talent. And maybe they need I'm sure there will be a new offensive staff with a new head coach. I'm sure there will be changes there as well. The defensive side of the ball is not as strong as they've been in the past. That's also been a factor in Harbaugh's demise there. And listen, make no mistake, John Harbaugh's taken a lot of abuse in Baltimore, and I think in a lot of shows like this, and a lot of shows I've been on in the last couple of years, I think John Harbaugh's a great coach. I don't like the way he whines and cries on the sideline sometimes, but he's a great coach. And I guarantee you, Baltimore may not think so, but their next 18 years aren't going to be anywhere near as good as these last 18 years when you put it all together. I think the next guy's got a tough job ahead of him.
Yeah, that's rough. And like I said, if they're talking about now cutting that much money, that's not going to go over well. I almost feel like there's a behavioral issue with both sides, and it just was exposed. And Lamar, of course, we always see the quarterbacks have control. We've seen it with Aaron Rodgers when he was in Green Bay, got Mike McCarthy fired on his birthday. The day after Harbaugh was fired was Lamar Jackson's birthday. I was like, wow, the irony. But then, Aaron stayed on until he didn't. And then I just think some more things came to light, because for your owner to come to you and say, you know what, in the same week, Keith, we're cutting you $74 million. So we're going to rework your contract. But, they came out with this deal. We talked about it a couple of years ago on our big show, I believe it was. The contract, the way they were negotiating contracts and working around them, like the performance-based contract, Keith.
Yeah.
Where you had to take so many snaps and things of that nature. And if you didn't make those snaps, I mean, we've seen it, you didn't get that pay.
Listen, it'll never fly because unions won't go for them. But I think performance-based contracts are the way all sports should be heading, right? You get paid, but you earn it based on however you perform. Again, in the real world, I got based on how I performed, and the team that worked under me performed. I had a base, but the bulk of my money came from our performance. And I think sports, and I think you would have continued desire to continue to improve and get better and be good at year after year. How many times we see guys play great in their contract year, get the big contract, and all of a sudden balls are getting dropped. I'm sitting out games. I'm taking plays off. I think we're all tired of seeing that.
Not only that, they will fight for these big contracts and then get hurt. Like Dak Prescott, you fought for this, held out or whatever, and then didn't even play. I mean, that's what really gets me, Keith, is when it's these players that hold out and it's not about the performance. It's that they get themselves hurt or some type of way they go down right away. Look at all the hype that was around Aaron Rodgers when he first went to New Jersey, the Jets. I mean, not even what, 2 snaps, 1 snap, the first possession of the ball. I was like, wait a minute, is this happening? They had, done the behind the scenes with the I can't think of the name of the show.
Hard
Against
Knocks.
all odds or whatever, Hard Knocks,
Hard
yeah.
Knocks, yeah.
And just the hype was real, and it was just, it fills it out as quick as it started.
Well, that's the problem with the way the money's growing, right? Especially with quarterbacks, wide receivers. I mean, I'm a guy who believes you're worth whatever somebody's willing to pay you.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you earn it is a different question. And with the contracts escalating the way that they are, I mean, performance-based contracts and incentives seem to be the only way to go to make it feasible to keep these guys and pay these guys and have them earn the money rather than just give it to them.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, but what do you say, like, when it's somebody like Fred Warner who underwent serious surgery, wants to come back? I guess in that case, you'd still pay them, but maybe like, a different, a prorated amount, because they are genuinely hurt. They went through surgery, et cetera. They're still traveling with the team, all of that stuff.
You could still have a really, what would be life altering money for most people, right? As a base salary. Mm-hmm. And then the rest of the big money is paid for performance. And you can make that performance anything you want. Individual performance. You could tie the team performance into it, which really should come into play for quarterbacks, let's say, right? You want to give them credit for winning, and which is the most important thing you can do. That's the most important stat to me.
Yes.
How many wins you get, not touchdown passes. But
the dub is the most important.
These guys, if they got hurt, they wouldn't be on the food line somewhere.
Right. That's true. So in addition to that, let's see, Tony Fontenette, the general manager for the Falcons, went out the door with Raheem Morris. There was some issues when they drafted Michael Penix Jr. There was an issue with management, with ownership. Arthur Blank did not want Michael Penix Jr. He didn't make no secret about that. And Terry Fontenette and Raheem got together, and as a last minute gesture, that's why no one knew about it. They even had to call Kirk Cousins up and say, hey, Kirk, we're going to go ahead and take a quarterback. No one knew this. And from that point, it was almost a rift. It was like, you have to make your money show up where you have basically written this check or else. And even if the Falcons would have had to make they would have had to even go further than the Panthers in the playoffs to basically right that wrong as far as Arthur Blank was concerned. So Michael Penix comes into the draft, of course, has had several surgeries on every quadrant of his body in college, but the last couple of seasons he was healthy. And once I saw that, Keith, I was like, they drafted the bionic man. Like, I don't know how this kid's going to hold up, but maybe the Falcons can sit him and let him learn, the Packer way. That's how they did Favre and Rodgers and, even Jordan Love now. But they didn't. They benched Kirk as soon as they weren't happy with what was going on. And we saw it. Michael Penix didn't last the full season. So, they cleaned house.
This is the risk you run. There's a couple of things at play here. The Michael Penix thing, I said that night, draft night, I don't get it. You just signed a quarterback in his mid-30s for $160 million, but you go in the first round, you give him no help.
Yep.
You got a team that's got talent.
Yes.
They've got talent. Go fix the defense. Get him a weapon. Do something. But you draft a quarterback at 7? What was it, 7 or 6?
7. And then their main defensive person, Grady Jarrett, they sent him to Chicago.
I mean, it made no sense at the time. Kirk Cousins last year, before he got hurt, was playing really good football, by the way. Mm-hmm. People don't think he was. Afterwards, he didn't. He got hurt, tried to play through it. That's when he really played bad, and he probably should have sat. But then the Michael Penix Jr. thing, he, as you said, we know his injury history in college. Got hurt at Indiana. Ironically, he started his career at Indiana before he went to Washington. But it was just not good management. And I think it's ironic, too, that Fontenot is gone a year later after hiring Raheem Morris, bypassing Bill Belichick because he was afraid Belichick would want too much power and he'd get forced out.
Yes.
And now he's out of a job anyway.
Out of a job anyway.
So you tell me you're better off the last 2 years with Bill Belichick or Raheem Morris?
Exactly. I think Bill would have been great for the NFL for sure. A lot better than what he's been in Carolina at UNC
Yeah, that
Chapel
was
Hill.
not a good fit. Not a good fit. But
Guys, I'm sitting down with Keith Engle. You guys can support him. He's the host and creator of TGI Sports Talk. And we're talking now NFL news. Don't forget to send those stars to Keith so you can help him earn more money. And all you all that are watching, I don't know if it's just maybe it's the issue. I can't see comments, but I know people are watching because I can see them. And I see a little note up here talking about one of my streams is
I see them.
not public, so I can't see the comments. So if you're saying anything, we appreciate you. I don't know how to make them come up. B's not on, but nonetheless, there's that. So all right. We're gonna move here along, Keith. Pete Carroll, one and done. I mean, are we surprised? Was it only a 1-year contract when they signed him for the Raiders? And it's the Raiders. Go figure. He wasn't gonna work miracles down there.
No, I mean, I was surprised Pete Carroll took that job in the first place, quite frankly. I didn't think it was a good fit. I think Pete Carroll can still coach. I don't know that he will. I think he's probably done now. 74 years old, I think he is.
Yeah.
But he's always been one of my favorite coaches. Ironically, Bob Kraft still says the decision he's made as a Patriots owner that he regrets the most is firing Pete Carroll.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That says a lot.
When you hired a coach that won 6 Super Bowls afterwards, that says a lot.
But he still says that. I mean, and Pete's still in shape. He runs up and down the sidelines.
My God, I love that guy. Jesus. I'd
awesome.
love to have his energy at 74. I'd love to have it at 65.
It's something in the gum. It's something in the gum he's chewing.
Him and Michael Irvin are hanging out together, right? But I'm not surprised he got fired. I mean, we don't even know who's running the show there. Is Mark Davis running the show? Is Tom Brady calling the shots? I don't know who's calling the shots there. I don't think anybody does. And until they have a clear message, they're going to continue to flounder. I'd be reluctant to take that job. If I was
I mean, he went and got Geno for what? Like, Geno has just not been everyone just doesn't play lights out when they get moved around unless you're Sam Darnold, I guess.
No, he landed in a really good situation in Seattle with Pete Carroll the first time and a good offensive system that fit him. He stayed healthy, had one really good year, another decent year, but he started to get injured again. He was injured a lot this year, didn't play well when he was healthy. And again, a different set of coaches around him. All that matters. Sam Darnold landed in a perfect spot in Minnesota last year. Kevin O'Connell's a quarterback whisperer. He does a great job up there. And he was fortunate to get in a similar situation in Seattle. Doesn't happen to everybody. Actually, this year it happened to a couple guys. Darnold laying in a good spot. Daniel Jones laying in a good spot. Mac Jones.
I was thinking about Daniel Jones. That's why I was like, Daniel Jones, landed in, we never thought, at least I never thought that you'd be mentioning Daniel Jones and being great, performing great.
Until he got hurt, he played really well. And again, that shows you how much the system matters to a quarterback. There's a lot of great quarterbacks probably never became great quarterbacks because they just were in a bad system or led by bad coaches, and their careers never panned out.
Yeah, definitely never panned out. And I gotta hurry us along here. Let's see. So Kevin Stefanski, I mean, did we see this one coming? I mean, there was the Shador situation. Yeah. They drafted Dylan Gabriel. I saw some unsubstantiated rumors about something that goes all the way back to some of Stefanski's grandfather or someone in the MLB when Prime was playing. And I saw the video where he tossed water on him, but I haven't been able to make the family connection. But there was some long burning history there. Now it's cleaned up. Shador is proven, he's the first rookie to start a Cleveland game and win that first start. Just a big mess. Go figure the Browns. I don't even know who goes there next, Keith.
It's another place that, it looks like a death trap if you go there because you don't get much time. You saw guys getting fired now. 1 year, not often. although we saw it twice in the last 2 years. But 2 years you get to turn a franchise around, basically.
Wow.
3 maybe. You saw it with Gannon. You saw it with the coach in Tennessee.
Morris was 2 years too. Yep.
Yeah, Raheem Morris, another one. So
and
you don't get
the Titans coach. Yep.
Yeah, but Kevin Stefanski is the problem. Is ownership there? Stuff rots from the head down, and ownership. If you're not going to listen to your football guys, then you shouldn't have football guys there. The football guys did want Shador, and I'm not saying Shador can't play.
Right.
I kind of like Shador's upside. I really do. Give him a chance. I think he could be a decent, not a great quarterback in the NFL. But the coaching staff and the football people didn't want him. The owner did. So if they weren't going to get on board with that, they weren't coming back. Stefanski never got on board. In fact, Stefanski and quarterbacks and the owners goes all the way back to Deshaun Watson. Yep. He didn't want to bring Deshaun Watson in there. He had Baker Mayfield. He was a fumble away from going to the AFC Championship game with Baker Mayfield.
Yep.
And he blew it all up. Kevin Stefanski's a good coach. He's going to get a job this year. He's a good coach. Might be coaching.
What happened with Mike McDaniel? I mean, that was a shocker. I guess Miami looked formidable for a little bit. They do that every year. They start off with these big waves and it gets the hype going, and then same old Miami. I mean, they upset Buffalo, Keith, made everybody get a little bit of hope.
McDaniel, he brought an exciting change to Miami, I think. Different approach and something that they needed at the time. But I don't think he really had the personnel that would really fit. I don't think Tua's that guy. I don't think they think that anymore, obviously, either. I don't know if Mike McDaniel was ever sold on Tua, but they didn't have anywhere else to go. And I think McDaniel will get another shot. I don't think it'll be this year. As I talked about earlier, I said, when you're a first-year head coach or first-time head coach, you get fired. Your next job, you better be very careful the one you take. Exactly. Don't just take any job, because you get fired again, you're not getting another shot. So he shouldn't be just jumping at the Tennessee job or jumping at the Cleveland job. You go back, be a coordinator, rebuild your reputation and wait for the right place to go so you can show that you can be a head coach in this league. I'm not sure that he can. He's another guy that I saw a little bit behind the scenes on Hard Knocks in season a couple seasons ago. Just, you know what? He's a smart guy. He's a brilliant guy, but he's just so quirky.
You just never know.
I don't feel like he's going to lead a bunch of guys to a Super Bowl victory. Doesn't feel that way.
It doesn't feel that way. Hi, Yoli. Thanks so much for saying hello. Yoli, my condolences to your Packers. They are lying down at home right now. Looks like as soon as I got ready to send her the message back, then I froze up. Am I frozen, Keith?
You are frozen, yeah.
All right, now I'm not. Okay. I guess they had to wait for all the comments to go. Now I'm moving around again.
There you go.
So I know I can't make messages back. So anyway, Yoli, I'll make sure I send you this video of this funeral service for the Packers that I saw on social media. It's so funny. All right. Yeah, Keith. So moving along here. All right. We talked about Mike Tomlin stepping down and how they, coaches there are tenured in Pittsburgh. Is he done, or is he just stepping down for a little bit?
Yeah, I talked about this earlier too. My sense, and it's just a gut feeling, I think this is a Bill Cowher situation. He'll leave. He'll go to TV. You're going to hear rumors about him for the next 10 years. He's coming back, and he's never coming back. I think. Oh my gosh! I think Tomlin will be done. I think he'll step away. He said he's not going to coach next year, no matter what. And I feel like he's going to be a guy who gets away from that pressure cooker, like Bill Cowher did, and kind of like it.
I mean, 20 years almost. That's a long time. I
think he'll dabble. He'll throw a line out there now and again when jobs come open, and he'll get talked to and talked about. But I just feel like he's not going to come back. I have nothing to back that up other than my gut and what Bill Cowher did in almost the exact situation, other than he was coming off a Super Bowl win when he retired. It feels a lot like that to me. I think we might have seen the last of him. And I think I don't know that he's ever gotten his due as a coach. I think he's a really good coach. I know some Pittsburgh people who do this type of thing that we're doing here don't think so. I don't know what they're watching because, again, 19 years, never had a losing season. He won a Super Bowl. I know he hasn't had great success in the playoffs the last 10 years or so.
Right.
But he had a lot of good seasons, and they were always in the hunt.
Always. What's up, Jay? Thanks for joining us. Yeah, but see, that's the thing, though, Keith. I put a reel up, and a lot of Pittsburgh fans were commenting on it, saying it's a great day in Pittsburgh and things like that. And it's just like, it's the what have you done for me lately, or what have you won for me lately, I should say. Instead of done, what have you won? Society
as a whole, we all want everything. We have instant gratification. So if we don't have it in the last 15 minutes, we forgot we ever had it.
I mean, but 10 years for Pittsburgh, who has 6 rings already, is a long time to go. Old school Pittsburgh fans who remember those 6 championships are probably can't even tell their kids under 20 years old, can't tell them anything about it. And so, well, right at 20-year mark. So you tell them that, and then having a non-losing season only to get eliminated every time in the wild card, in my opinion, is just like, I'm just gonna say, I'd be happy that my team won the division. They advanced to the wild card, but they're right back home the next week. It's just delaying the inevitable.
Well, you did something that the rest of the league didn't do. You made the playoffs, and he did it consistently. I know he didn't win in the playoffs as much as people would like recently, but he went to a lot of AFC championship games and won a Super Bowl the first half of his tenure there.
Yeah, he did.
He's going to be a Hall of Fame inductee without a doubt.
Definitely outstanding.
And if he wanted a job, he'd have one tomorrow. But
he's definitely outstanding. Gonna be missed. I'm really hoping that we haven't seen the last of him, because it's like the end of an era. I mean, you feel the same way about Harbaugh, but he's gonna go somewhere. It's just gonna look odd wherever he goes. It's gonna look different. But I mean, you almost can't even say, at least I can't even say Steelers without thinking about Mike Tomlin automatically.
I think it's a good thing that regardless of what I just said about his tenure, and I think it's better than what people probably think it is. It's probably time for a change and a new voice, both for the organization and for the fans, because the fan base, and you shouldn't listen to your fan base probably because they don't know what the hell they're talking about most of the time. But you have to, because they're the people, they're the paying customers, right? So
the money, the revenue. You
can't just ignore them. They're buying. It's not just tickets; it's wearables, it's everything.
Everything.
So at some point, I think, again, he wasn't fired. There's no way he was fired. He made this decision on his own. This team doesn't fire coaches. They haven't fired a coach in almost 60 years.
Yeah. He made his exit so quietly, though. It wasn't like a lot of rah-rah, and
no.
It just wasn't. And of course, Rodgers would probably be right behind him. Cameron Wynn was all up his butt at the end of the game. I'm like, oh my goodness, they got the camera in the locker room, all but in the shower with him. I'm like, come on, people.
Yeah,
we've seen. He's not even a Steeler for life. Like, you guys are following him like he's been there like Roethlisberger or something.
Yeah.
And so, but there's that. Congratulations to Matt Ryan. He, the former quarterback of Atlanta, has been named the president of football operations for Atlanta, whatever that is. I think it's just a familiar connection. I've heard he's married into the family some kind of way. And so his wife is related to blank. I think it's his niece or something like that. But keeps them connected to the money. Let's hop over to these eliminations and in the playoffs. We are rapidly approaching this top of the hour. I'll promise not to try to go past maybe 5 after, because Keith is so intelligent. He just has a plethora of information here.
Nobody usually strings those words together and talking about me.
Well, I mean them, Keith. Wild card weekend was nothing but wild. Every single game on Saturday and Sunday decided by one freaking score. One score, not only one score, but 4 points. So not even a full touchdown. I have to start out with my Carolina Panthers, who I am extremely proud of, even at 8-9, going into the playoffs, finishing at 8-10, which doesn't look cute. But for the first time since 2017, we made a playoff appearance. And for the first time since 2015, we were actually the division winners. And on top of that, over 72,000 tickets sold for the bank. The bank looked like it did and had not looked for many years. There was standing room only at that stadium. I contemplated going to that game, but I heard it was supposed to be very bad weather. There was not a drop of rain that happened the entire game. Some people said they were looking for the rain, so it would be advantageous to keep the air game out of the air with Matt Stafford because he likes to do a pass game, and they felt like if you keep it on the ground, it would be advantageous to the Panthers. But none of that happened, and both those teams played. Panthers were down significantly for a while, came back and rallied, and I was hopeful until J.C. Horn missed that last catch. We are eliminated 31-34, high-scoring game. But the Panthers could not get the final stop. Keith, your thoughts on that game?
They played very well for most of the game. Again, that last drive was not good. You don't want to give somebody like Matthew Stafford the ball back with a chance to win at the end of the game, and that's exactly what happened. And sometimes young teams, this team is getting better. And I didn't give you the type of grief some other people did on our network, but
don't worry, they'll be eliminated soon enough.
I expected this team to be better. I think I said 8-9 to 9-8. I didn't know if they'd make the playoffs or not. But they finished pretty much where I thought they would. Bryce Young, I think, made steps forward. And there's a hump to get over, or humps to get over. They got over one. Mm-hmm. I know they're 8-9, but they did win the division. They got better, a lot better than what they've been the last couple of years. That's important. You can't just dismiss that. And winning in the playoffs is a different thing than winning in the regular season. And sometimes it takes some lessons to figure that out. Hopefully the Panthers take some lessons away from this game. I think they will. They seem to be well coached. And I would expect that team to get better next year, assuming they can keep some personnel around. And got a really good – I think your quarterback is starting to show he can play in this league. You got a guy at wide receiver who's going to be one of the best in the league.
Jalen Coker.
No, I'm talking about
T-Mac as well, both of them.
I'm talking about T-Mac. And when he got drafted, I got a steal in that guy. And I think there's some, you run the ball really well, which is important. You still got to run the ball in this league. I know people love to throw the ball around. Mm-hmm. You still have to run the ball to be successful. So if it was my team, I'd be proud of them and look for even better things next year.
Yeah, definitely exciting times. Jalen Coker, the unsigned wide receiver that they brought in, him, and he was the target through the playoffs. And it's ironic, Keith, the same score the Panthers had was the score the Rams had in the last time we met up with them. We beat them 31-28. This time we got to 31, and the Rams kept going. So the game wasn't over at our 31. This time we, came up short. Xavier Legette could not catch a cold. I mean, there's something off. Every catch, every target, that's when Coker stepped up. Rico Dowdle, we had a duo in the running back with him and Shuba Hubbard. Yep. Rico's unhappy. He has now unfollowed the Panthers, taking all his Panther stuff off his social media, saying that he wants to go somewhere where he can be basically the main target. We knew this would happen at some point, but But Bryce made sure that Rico got his touches. He just secured the $1 million bonus because he got his touches, and now he's wanted to go elsewhere. So I guess we just thank him for his service for what he did this far and just move forward.
Yeah, this came up in one of the conversations we had, I think, on the Big Football Show one morning. We were talking about your running back duos, and they work well, but only in the moment because one of those two guys almost invariably is unhappy. Or both. Patriots are in kind of the same situation with two of their running backs. But we've seen it happen with the Eagles. We've seen it happen with the Lions, where they've had these great tandems, and one of them goes because either they can't afford both of them, or somebody decides to go play somewhere because they want to be the man. Mm-hmm. So you got to strike while the iron's hot. You got those guys playing well.
Yeah,
Right.
they lasted while it lasted great for a while. Let me etch on for it. Green Bay eliminated. The love had run out. The Bears, are the Bears really serious? I mean, the Bears serve at home, knocking out their bitter division rivals. I think the Bears may be kind of serious here, Keith.
I do too. I know there's some Brian's not listening. I know Brian isn't a believer in the Bears, but listen, this team's gotten better. And I talked about getting over the hump. They got over a hump last week. They came back. They won their first playoff game. Caleb Williams has gotten better and better and better as the season gone on. He still makes mistakes. It's only his second season, but he gets better. And this team is never going to think they're out of the game. I don't recommend they go get down by 20 some points against the Rams.
Have to fight back, right?
I think they got a legitimate chance to beat the Rams this week at home.
I'm hoping they do too, Keith, and you know it.
And just don't give Matthew Stafford the ball with a chance to win at the end. That's all.
With a minute on the clock. Facts. Yeah.
I think the Bears got a little bit legitimate chance to win this game. I do.
Yeah, I do too. San Francisco pulled it out against the Eagles, another 4-point game. I'm not shocked about that. Even though the 49ers went in there beat up pretty much from their matchup with the Seahawks. I just hadn't been convinced with the Eagles this entire season. I just did not see the flight in them.
Yeah, I wasn't convinced all year either. And I still picked them Saturday, whatever day they played, last weekend. Because I thought the 49ers were so banged up they couldn't possibly go to Philadelphia and win this game. But Philadelphia just has so little imagination on offense. I mean, think about what you watched in some of the game-winning drives. We saw several game-winning drives in this last weekend. And then look at what Philadelphia was doing. And they weren't fooling anybody. They're just running a basic offense. 3 wide receivers. Down the field they go.
And that's why they're calling for firings. Philly fans are calling for firings because they're like, if we saw that at home, Keith, the other team saw that. The Niners knew that. Everybody knew these plays.
I mean, you look at the last play they ran. That's the best thing you can come up with your season on the line.
Right.
That could have been a play they ran in the first quarter of game 6 of the season. I mean, just no imagination. There will be changes there for sure.
Yeah, so moving on over to the AFC team, of course, the Bills barely got by the Jags. I actually thought the Jags were going to go ahead and eke this one out. Another 3-point game that came down to the wire. Buffalo barely edged them out in a very tight contest the entire game there, Keith. I'm still not convinced on Buffalo. I know there's no Patrick Mahomes, no Lamar Jackson. This was clearly his for the taking if he had just shown up. But Buffalo has had too many falls during the regular season to be that dependable in the postseason.
I liked Buffalo in this game. I liked them to win this game. Jacksonville never did convince me quite this year. They played well in that game, but not well enough to beat Josh Allen. Josh Allen finds ways to beat you. Sometimes he finds ways to beat himself. But he's a guy who's never going to lack for excitement. I do think they have a chance to go to Denver and win this game. I say that for my heart because I don't want to end up going to Denver.
Yeah.
as a Patriot.
I figured. Yeah, I figured. I've got the AFC coming down to you guys in Denver, by the way. Speaking of, you guys, I mean, the Chargers, that game was Yawnsville for me. Chargers just were not getting anything done. It was a defensive. Anytime you see that type of score, it's a defensive matchup. And you guys actually stifled them, Keith. Just stifled the electricity out of the Chargers. You just unplugged them.
The defense has really stepped it up here. Williams coming back and on the defensive line has made a huge difference the last few weeks. They've been very consistent, except for a couple of spots on defense most of the year. But they've really stepped it up since the last 2 games of the regular season and this first postseason game. They just dominated the San Diego offensive line. Justin Herbert had to be hurting badly Monday morning.
I said that. I was like, he's in an ice bath tonight.
Yeah, I felt bad for him, actually. He was getting beat up so bad. But Drake May got beat up, too. The San Diego defense played really well and really pressured Drake May, and he struggled. The thing that impressed me most about the Patriots and Drake May in this game, and I've said this a lot, and again, I'm not comparing Drake May to Tom Brady. Believe me, not yet. Probably never. But the thing that impressed me, the thing about Tom Brady and great quarterbacks is they can play terrible for 3/4 of a game and then find a way to beat your ass in the fourth quarter.
Yes, that's what Tom Brady used to do.
Do it a lot. Drake May was bad for a lot of this game, partly because San Diego was all over him.
Mm-hmm.
But he figures it out. I've seen this a couple times this year where he hasn't got off to great starts. This was a great coming of age moment for him, I think, because he really didn't play well for almost 3/4 of this game and figured it out and found a way to get his team. They only won 16-3.
I'm still impressed. Drake May only in is this his second season, Keith?
Second year.
And he's already like shown these type of moves. I know people are screaming MVP, definitely rookie of the year. I don't even know. He's probably not even a rookie anymore. So offensive player of the year, maybe.
He's in the MVP running. Stafford's going to win, but he'll probably finish second.
Oh God, please. And of course, we know about the Texans eliminating the Steelers, which was the reason why the domino effect up there in Pittsburgh, just 30-6. I don't even think the Steelers were present. Just a blowout victory win to cap off. Now, that's the only game that was that, and you guys' game went beyond the 3-4 point threshold. Texans, Texans are that secret team. You don't see them coming, but they're there. They're still there, and I think they may be a threat if, they came to play Denver, but I'm still calling it Pats and Broncos for the AFC Championship. And if that happens, please do not let Denver get to the freaking Super Bowl. They have not been since 2015 when we were there. And it would have been so kismet had the Panthers advanced all the way for year number 60. This is 10 years right here. Super Bowl 60. 10 years since we both were there. It would have been so amazing.
So let me be clear. You're rooting for the Patriots to get to the Super Bowl.
Yes.
I'm going to save this tape.
Yes. I'm going to root for them. Yes. I'm rooting for them to get to the Super Bowl. And if some kind of way Seattle ekes it out, I definitely hope you guys beat them down. I hope you guys just rip Sam apart. I don't care if he says he loves the city of Charlotte. Their fan base is out of control right now. And so just to silence them, I definitely don't want the Broncos winning this. So if it comes down to you guys, now let's be clear. If it comes down to Buffalo and the Texans, I'm rooting for the Texans because any team that beat us down, I'm not rooting for them. I'm not rooting for them. But if by process of default, even though we didn't play the Broncos this year, we're never liking the Broncos. And Sean Payton as the former Saints coach, absolutely not. So
I want to go to Denver because Denver's been a house of horrors for the Patriots over the years. I'm going back 30 years. A lot of bad things have happened out there in regular season and the postseason. I don't want to go there.
They don't call it Mile High for nothing, Keith. So we're going to do a quick little preview here of the games coming up, and then we're going to wrap up. Keith, I appreciate you hanging with me. I know I said an hour. You've already gone 9 minutes over, but let's subtract the 3-minute commercials that came on. So really 6 minutes. We got some big games this weekend. This is going to be an exciting sports weekend because they lead up to the college football championship game on Monday. But started on Saturday, we have the Bills at the Broncos at 4:30 Eastern Standard Time on CBS. Do you think the Bills can actually upset the number 1 seeded Broncos at Mile High of all places?
Yeah, anytime you got Josh Allen and James Cook in the same backfield, you got a chance to win the game.
Absolutely.
I don't know that they will, but I'd like them to win.
Yeah, you don't want to. Yeah, I got you on that. So if Buffalo pulls this out, then they come to New England.
Assuming New England, yes.
The next game. Yeah. I forgot. The Sunday game. We'll talk about that in a second. The second game is going to be coming on at 8 p.m. The 49ers and Seattle Seahawks. I just feel like this is one of these things, a lot of us had to play the same teams over. Seattle's already seen the 49ers before. They're seeing them again, close call, and they just beat them up so bad, Keith. I'm concerned. And this game is at Seattle. They're rested. They've been off a couple of weeks. I don't know.
Kyle Shanahan's done a great job this year with all the injuries the 49ers have had. I think more.
No Ayuk. They haven't even seen him.
He's done. Yeah, Ayuk.
Missing in action.
He went to Mars or something, wherever the hell he went.
Fred Warner's want to come back.
He's done a great job getting them to this point, but I can't get what I watched 2 weeks ago out of my head. Yeah. Seattle dominated the 49ers, and I can't see any way they're going to go up there. If they're home, I might give them a chance, but going to Seattle, I don't think they're going to have any chance to win this game.
They tore Brock Purdy up so bad. He was another one I was like, had to be sore after the game.
Yeah.
And they ate up Christian, too.
Yeah. With Kittle gone, I know Fred Warner says he's going to try to play, but I just don't think – I think they're out of gas.
Yeah, that was a big blow to lose Kittle. And they said the first thing he asked for was a bottle of tequila. He knew it was over. He may as well toast to the season at that point. Sunday's game's kicking off at 3 o'clock, not 1 o'clock. So that gives you some time to get home from church and actually have dinner or whatever, a little light lunch. 3 p.m. This is on ESPN, ABC, the Texans and your Patriots. Keep 2 top defensive minds. You guys are hosting as the number 2 seed.
Texans defense scares the crap out of me. Drake May took a beating last week, turns the ball over a little bit when he gets pressured. He fumbled twice last week, lost one through an interception because of pressure. And the Texans rush the passer better than anybody in football. Unless they find a way to score twice on defense again, though, like they did against the Steelers, I don't think they're going to win this game. I think the Patriots defense will, I've heard comparisons to the Ravens in 2002, whatever it was, when they had a great defense, but they had Jamal Lewis run for, 2,200 yards. They don't have really any weapons for C.J. Stroud. Nico Collins might be out of this game. Christian Gonzalez may be out for the Patriots, which will be kind of an even swap, I guess, positions. But Patriots defense, I think, plays as well as they can. You're going to see a very similar game to what you saw against San Diego. It'll be ugly. And I think you're going to see some field goals, and whoever finds a way to score a touchdown might win this game. I'd see another 16-6, 16-3 final here. Patriots win.
Oh, that's so rough, Keith. That's so rough.
It will be hard.
It's going to be hard, but you guys will be at home. That's a good thing for you guys. And then the last game, this is all called home field advantage because these are 4 hosts coming off of byes or strong home wins that are playing this weekend. The Rams at the Chicago Bears, 6:30 p.m. That's going to be on NBC. So I feel like it's going to be a dual television screen moment because I feel like your game may actually go over a little bit. It's going to be a cold weather matchup at Soldier Field. Rams do not play in that type of weather, but they do travel well. And as Chicagoans are actually, I think they're moving the field. Is it after this season? They're relocating to Evanston.
They might have one more season. They might have one season at Soldier Field. Yeah.
I know they're moving up to Evanston, where my grandmother's actually from. And so to the north of the city. And as someone who's gone to Soldier Field, I've talked about it. It's horrible to get into that stadium off Lakeshore Drive. And we saw the weather change while we were there. It was like warm. And I ended up quickly having to add sweatshirts and stuff that I had brought with me. But yeah, 6:30, Keith. Your thoughts on this game as we get ready to stick a bow on it?
I think if Caleb Williams can not make mistakes and the Bears can play just respectable defense and get themselves out in front of the Rams and not give Matthew Stafford the ball with 2 minutes left and a chance to win the game, I think the Bears can win this game. I'm going to take the Bears to upset at home. Rams are a 4-point favorite, and head to the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, I think Vegas learned their lesson by giving them a 10-point advantage over the Panthers, and so they came down a little bit for this 4-point. Be a little more realistic. I mean, but God forbid the Rams win and Seattle wins. The two teams in the same division. How odd is that to be playing for the championship?
It's probably the best division in football, so I'm not shocked if that happens. But I think the Rams haven't played that great the last month. They barely got by you guys last week. They lost 2 out of 3, I think.
They lost to us. They lost to Atlanta, and then they barely got by us in the playoffs.
Yeah. So they haven't played tremendous. They've kept themselves in games, and Matthew Stafford, as we saw last week, still has that magic at the end. We can say we want him. He's a really good player.
Yeah, Devontae Adams put a video up talking about they were ready to snatch our hearts. So after I saw that, I was like, definitely all for them. So yeah, Keith, a big weekend. What'd you say, Keith?
I'll take the Bears in that game, though. I like that.
Absolutely. What you think it's going to be a close score?
I do. Very close.
Maybe 9, maybe 16-9 or 16-7, something like that.
How about 21-17?
Ooh, that's really close. 21-17. That sounds like a field goal, a kickoff competition. All right. Well, definitely a fun weekend coming up. I want to give a small shout out before I let Keith go. Make sure you guys come on this page and look. There is another promo for my niece, Pearson. She's kicking off her scholarship. Jabberwock, Delta Sigma Theta is sponsoring that. She's a senior, and for every dollar she raises, she gets to keep that towards college. Pearson's a senior this year. So please come on. And if you don't purchase the popcorn, which is delicious, I got my box yesterday. There's ways to donate as well. We'll be doing that all the rest of this month and next month, trying to get Pearson where she needs to be. Keith, thank you so much for joining me. As always, always a pleasure. Let's make sure it's not another 18 months before you come on. We know you're about to set sail here shortly, so make sure you support him again. TGI Sports Talk. He's on this platform. He's also on the McGrath Podcasting Network. And I always try to go in and share your lives. So we look forward to seeing you again, Keith. And thank you so much, and hope you have a great night.
Thank you, Sonja.
Thank you. Good luck to your team, both of your teams, the Patriots and the Hurricanes, the Kings.
Have a great night. Thank you.
You too. Bye-bye, y'all. Keith Engle, everybody. And we're going to say good night with that. And you guys have a great night. See you Friday.